Welcome, everyone. Today's the feast of St. Agatha, and we read the Gospel of St. Mark. King Herod heard about Jesus, for his fame had become widespread, and people were saying, "John the Baptist has been raised from the dead. That is why mighty powers are at work in him." Others were saying he is Elijah. Still others, he's a prophet like any of the prophets. But when Herod heard about John, about the preaching of Jesus, he said, "It is John whom I beheaded. He has been raised up." Herod was the one who had John arrested, bound in prison, on account of Herodias, the wife of his brother Philip, whom he had married. John said to Herod, "It is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife." Herodias harbored a grudge against John and wanted to kill him, but was unable to do so. Herod feared John, knowing him to be a righteous and holy person, and kept him in custody. When he heard him speak, he was very much perplexed, yet he liked to listen to him. Herodias had an opportunity one day when, on Herod's birthday, he gave a banquet for his courtiers and his military officers and the leading people of Galilee. His own daughter came in and performed the dance that delighted Herod and his guests. The king said to the girl, "Ask of me whatever you wish, and I will grant it to you." He even swore many things to her. "I will grant you whatever you ask of me, even to half of my kingdom." She went out and said to her mother, "What shall I ask for?" Her mother replied, "The head of John the Baptist." The girl hurried back to the king's presence and made her request. "I want you to give me at once on a platter the head of John the Baptist." The king was deeply distressed, but because of his oaths and the guests, he did not wish to break his word to her. So promptly, he dispatched an executioner with orders to bring back his head. He went off and beheaded him in prison. He brought in the head on a platter and gave it to the girl. The girl, in turn, gave it to her mother. When his disciples heard about it, they came and took his body and laid it in a tomb. The Gospel of the Lord. When I read a gospel such as this morning's, I tend to filter it through my own experience, my own culture. And it's not terribly wrong to do that. It's my level of experience. I'm not an emperor of the Roman Empire. I'm not a king. But at the same time, in our culture, it's certainly the aspiring goals for all people to achieve success, money, power, a certain position where you tend to be secure, but certainly even above others. That's how we measure our worth. And we see here, King Herod is an absolute emperor, a representative of the Roman Empire. And we get a list. He married his brother's wife, his brother still being alive. He is conscious of all his power, and he wants to celebrate it by having a party and inviting everybody. And he's the king of the hill. He's getting adulation, affirmation. I would think we'd rate him as a success. And then his daughter comes in, dances for the guests, and he goes and offers her anything. He's so pleased, he's so proud. And when she turns, coming back from her mother, she says, "I want the head of John the Baptist." And then there's a line in there that says, "And Herod was concerned about his guests and his court officers. He was worried about what people would think. He promised, he made this grand statement to offer even half his kingdom. That's how much he loved the girl. And yet, was he going to make a choice? And he did. It cost John the Baptist his head. That's the story. I'm certain, and you agree with me, that we wouldn't do that. But I wonder whether I don't do something similar on a lesser scale. When I'm the center of my life, when I become, so to speak, an emperor or a king in my own head, where I work hard to get ahead and establish myself, do I listen to any voice but my own? Am I concerned about what people think rather than what I believe? What I wind up doing, and I do it often on a lesser scale, is I put myself in the center of my life and my world. I take God's place. I'm violating the first commandment, and I never even think about it. Would I take someone's life? I hope not. But would I damage somebody's reputation? Would I cut them out of my life, not talk to them, or speak ill of them? Now I'm in deep trouble. I'm starting to get uncomfortable. Maybe I'm not so unlike Herod in a way. When I'm more concerned about what my goals are, what I possess, when I have them as my identification as a human being, when I find myself unable to have anything else to believe in other than what I've accomplished and what the world has to offer me, then I don't know if I'm pushed hard enough what I might do. And so it's important, as God keeps telling me, if you want to be successful in God's kingdom, then put yourself and other people first. That's where God is. And then everything else kind of falls into place. I'll make right choices about you in my relationship. But even more important, I'll make right choices about myself. I will tend to love myself by when I'm tempted to go off, to make the right choices, to choose God above my own little world, my own kingdom. We say it in the Our Father, your kingdom come on earth, not mine. But I'm afraid, like Herod, too often I live the words out that say, my kingdom come, not yours. Have a good day, enjoy, keep praying for one another, and stay safe.